Okay, here's our next bus that's here for maintenance out here at the property. It's a 1971 MCI 7. It's a very nice looking bus. You can tell that he cares about it. I mean, he's got it clean. That's always a good sign. He's got new rubber on it. The tires look great. He's got a 8V71 that was just recently put in it with an automatic transmission. It came out of a fire truck. Just real nice bus. So this is a bluegrass group. This is their tour bus, so they travel a lot and live in it while they're on the road. Farmhandsquartet.com is their website. Tim Graves, if you look him up on YouTube, that's his bus. I know some of his music you can find on YouTube there. Just for general maintenance, service on it, we're going to go through. I'm going to do some safety inspections and just check things out too to make sure it's going to be good and reliable for him on the road. Oil change, generator and engine, fuel filters, that kind of stuff. The first thing that I notice is the front airbags have deflated, so it's resting on the nose now. So there's something going on, which he thinks maybe it's a leveling valve, but I'll get under there with some soapy water and see if I can figure out what's going on with that. And it's also listing to the left. The airbags are starting to come down, not all the way yet, but I'm gonna let it sit and we'll see what happens. That's very, for a lot of people, you know, if your airbags go down when you're not on the road, it's no big deal. But if you're, you know, you guys are living in there and the airbags come down on one side and the bus has a severe lean to one side, that's very annoying. So they don't want to have to run a generator and with a small air compressor or something to try and keep it up. So we're going to see if we can fix up his air leaks for him on there. The engine install looks like they did a really good job. And I don't see any major oil leaks or anything underneath. There's just a couple drips over there, and he drove quite a while to get here. I don't know how many miles, but I'm going to guess under 100 probably, but super nice bus though. So we're going to go through, and you can see how much it's leaning to the left there. And yeah, I'm going to set the brakes, check the brakes. He thinks there might be a parking brake issue, some other stuff, so we'll get on it. Okay, getting ready to pull the drain plug out of here. And it's just a pipe plug on it. Somewhere, yeah, the back's wrecked. I'm gonna make a guess that his air compressor is starting to go bad because look at the amount of oil that's coming out of the air dryer. That's where the air dryer exhausts out of the bottom, and there's a ton of oil there. And there's actually a bigger puddle underneath the bus that's right there. So the air compressor is passing a lot of oil. That's going to need to be addressed. One thing I noticed on here is he's missing all of his weather stripping around this rear door. This is what goes around the radiator fan. So these squirrel cage fans are just sucking air through the sides here. It's supposed to draw it through the radiator, but if it can suck, it's going to suck wherever it can suck from. So if there's no seal here, it can suck this air here instead of forcing it through the radiator. So you're getting less performance out of your radiators by sucking air through here that's just going through the fans. So by adding some weather stripping on there, I bet he'll improve his cooling by maybe 10%, something like that. So we just got to get some kind of seal up there for him all the way around it so that door seals nice and tight. Went ahead and jacked this thing up, set it down on some blocks just so I got more ground clearance under there so I can really have plenty of room. Normally the oil filter in these is on the engine over here. This one's remote mounted from the cooler way up over here next to the transmission. This is the engine oil filter. The transmission filter is over here on this side. But you really got to get way up under here to do it. So by putting the bus up on blocks, the drive wheels are on blocks. This side's a little bit higher because this side has the airbags leaked down on it. Give me plenty of room to get under here where I don't have to worry about getting squished, and because the airbag's already leaked down over here, I'm good to go. Kind of wondering how the hell this is going to work, because the oil filter is just right above the dipstick tube for the transmission, and I'm really hoping that I can get that oil filter out of there, because it's right. It's got to come down enough to come off of there. Man, that's going to be tight. I'm going to pray that it works. Please, please, please. Bless Gods be with me. Okay, got the filter on. That was a close call. Not a lot of room there. This filter, I think, might be like a half-inch shorter or something. Looks like there's more clearance there than what I had a minute ago. If not, it's the same, but I was a little worried about that. No problem. I can tell that the brakes over here on this tag are not adjusted all that well by how much space there is between the shoe and the drum. So I'm going around addressing some leaks on the transmission here. I tightened up all of these bolts on the drain pan. They all got about 1/4 to 1/2 a turn on them. I'm gonna hope that's gonna slow it up some. There was also a drip on the corner here, and this got about 1/2 a turn on all of those, all the way around that plate. Hopefully that'll snug that up. This had some oil on it too, which could have just been running down from up there, but I did put a little tighten on that too. One thing I'm concerned about is this transmission filter. The paint is off of it and it's actually rusty. It's pretty beaten up, and there's a big, I don't know if they just banged it when they were getting it in, but there's actually oil on it, but I don't see oil coming down from the top of it, so it actually may have a pinhole in it. I'm going to recommend that he changes that too, mostly because it's so dented. I don't know if the video is doing any justice to how dented and nasty it is. I don't like it. This tag, the brake looks a lot more adjusted, but we'll still adjust it again. Okay, now it is properly adjusted and the wheel does spin now. I got about 1.5 revolutions out of the adjustment on the slack adjuster. That's how far out that one was. And then I'm still gonna have to come under here and grease it up. There'll be a grease fitting here on the slack adjuster right up here, and then there's this one here on the S-cam, and then there's a couple of grease fittings over here where the tag axle pivots on there and stuff too. So I'm having Kelly pull that pull chain. It blasted out some oily goo. Go ahead and pull it, Kel. But it not leak. One more time. It's leaking now that it's done that, though. I'm going to have to clean that out. Keep pulling it a few times. Yeah. It's just gooed up. Alright. I'll have to fix that. It's a little dirty under there. Gotta get the good wipes. These are just the pigment ones. They don't work nearly as good as the Gojo ones. There's crap all over my face too. I felt it falling on my face. I know my legs are nasty too. So as we discussed on Mark's bus, in order to keep that belt tight, right now it's pulling down on that shelf, and the shelf can bend. There's supposed to be some cross bracing that holds that up. One of them is actually up there. You can see it's disconnected. So I can pull this back down and run that back through that bolt hole to help give it some stiffness to stop that. The other one is completely missing. Something I can tell them to keep an eye out for. Find it from a parts bus. Definitely helps to keep that rigid in there so you can keep that tension on the belt. This one's not an air tensioner like some of the other ones are. And then it's always real critical to make sure that level, it stays good in there. It's good. That's kind of the Achilles heel of these. It's not leaking anywhere really, so it should be full. I gotta get a rag and I got a stinky pinky. I can do this without taking a bath.
I thought you were going to take a bath there. Do you need another rag to put underneath there? Where it's dripping?
Need to get my flashlight. So you can see a little bit of water in there, and then there's a bunch of dirt down at the bottom. So we'll get these cleaned out and serviced. Big old pile of stuff there. Ugh. Couple piles of dirt. This one had quite a bit of water in it. You can see extra slimy. Pick out any debris before I clean it. That was not too bad. It's only about a 1/4 inch of dirt on the bottom of it. Don't really see any water. Water's the problem because these are metal. The water gets in there and water goes to the bottom because oil floats. And then the water sitting on the bottom of the steel here rusted out. Okay, we've done the oil change, new filter. Oil's in it, oil level's full. Primed the oil filter. I'm going to do the fuel filters after I get started. I just want to make sure I don't have any issues with anything here. Oil bath air filters have been serviced. Everything should be good to go here. Kelly's going to fire it up. Go ahead and start it, Kel. Air conditioner belt is very loose. That's a turnbuckle. Okay, that's the end of the day for today. I had to go get a shower and get cleaned up. It's pretty dirty. Got about 4 hours in on the bus today. Not too bad, nothing real concerning yet. Going through and tearing into things. I got the spare tire out of the front bay there, working on getting the, figuring out what's going on with this low air buzzer that's not operational. That's real important to get that going again. Got some of the brakes adjusted and everything, oil change, service done. The engine stuff is pretty much so done. Worked on some oil leaks, talked to him on the phone about some recommendations. Definitely to get a spare air compressor to carry because I don't know how much longer that one's going to last. And maybe start monitoring how much oil it is outputting. But it's definitely, it built air fine, it built air pressure, no issue, but we don't want that much oil in the air system. everything so far looks good. It was definitely dirty under there. That transmission filter, I'd recommend him change. I tightened up the belt for the over-the-road air conditioner that was pretty loose. I got that. I'm tightening that, adding that cross member brace back onto the fan box up top. So got quite a bit done. Real happy with it. I didn't work the whole day today because it was really warm and sunny down there, and I didn't have any reason to since he left it here. So we took most of the afternoon off then. So I worked in the morning for a little bit, and then the hot part of the day we quit and then went back down there late in the afternoon when it was shady down there. So it was nice and comfortable. That was the good time. You know, a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening. Great. So get back on it tomorrow and probably finish up tomorrow unless I need to order a couple parts and then whatever that takes. So. Definitely yes, today was the dirty day. Tomorrow I shouldn't get nearly as dirty. I got everything, you know, all the grease fittings on the rear end and everything are done. So pretty much tomorrow is just checking for airbag leaks. I got the garden sprayer filled with soapy water, so I can go down there and start spraying that in there. It's got a lot longer reach than a Windex bottle, and it can wrap around corners a little easier. The garden sprayer comes in real handy for stuff like that. So, but you'll see that tomorrow.
His tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in on Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, 'cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town looking on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?